You think you're weighing the facts, but your mind already picked a side and is quietly stacking the deck. The moment you believe something, your brain stops being a judge and becomes a lawyer, hunting only for evidence that proves you right and burying everything that proves you wrong. This is confirmation bias, and it is the most powerful filter running your entire view of the world. It doesn't feel like bias. It feels like being correct. That's the trap. You walk through your day collecting little trophies that confirm what you already think, and you barely notice the mountain of contradictions you stepped over to reach them. You believe you're open-minded. Your brain is betting that you're not. Confirmation bias is beautifully simple to describe and almost impossible to escape. Once you hold a belief, you give friendly evidence a free pass and put hostile evidence on trial. Proof that agrees with you gets waved through without a second look. Proof that disagrees gets interrogated, doubted, picked apart until you find a reason to dismiss it. Same standard? Never. You demand a mountain of proof to change your mind and a single feather to keep it. The unsettling part is that this happens underneath your awareness, dressed up as careful thinking. You feel like you're being rigorous. Really, you're just being rigorous in one direction. The verdict was decided before the trial began, and every fact after that is either a witness for the defense or an enemy to discredit. In the 1960s, a psychologist named Peter Wason ran a deceptively simple test. He showed people three numbers, 2, 4, 6, and told them these fit a secret rule. Their job was to guess the rule by proposing their own number triples, and he'd tell them yes or no each time. Almost everyone guessed the rule was even numbers going up by 2, then tested it by offering triples that already fit, 8, 10, 12, 20, 40, 60. Yes, yes, yes. They felt certain. But the actual rule was just any 3 increasing numbers. They never discovered it because they only asked questions designed to hear yes. Nobody tried 3 to 1 to see it fail. That's confirmation bias in a lab. To feel right, we test only the answers that flatter us. Why does the mind do this? Because being right feels good and being wrong feels like a small death. Every belief you hold is stitched into your sense of who you are, so an attack on the belief lands like an attack on you. Changing your mind also costs energy. It means dismantling a story you already built and sitting in the discomfort of not knowing. Psychologists call that discomfort cognitive dissonance, and your brain treats it like pain to be avoided. Agreement, by contrast, is cognitive ease, smooth, effortless, pleasant. So you drift toward whatever confirms you and flinch from whatever threatens you. Not because you're stupid, but because your brain is protecting its own comfort and its own ego at the same time. Now hand this ancient bug to a machine designed to exploit it. Your news feed doesn't show you the world. It shows you the version of the world you'll keep scrolling through. Every click, pause, and angry comment teaches the algorithm what you already believe, and it dutifully serves you more of it. You think you're informed because you consume so much. Really, you're being fed a custom reality engineered to feel like confirmation. The people who disagree with you get quietly filtered out, so it starts to seem like everyone reasonable agrees with you, and only lunatics don't. That isn't the truth thinning out the opposition. That's a recommendation engine monetizing your bias, selling you the endless, comforting sensation of being right. The machine learned exactly which beliefs you'll pay attention to with your time, and it will never risk losing you by showing you something that makes you doubt. Watch how it works in the small moments. You wake up, read your horoscope, and it totally nails you, because you went looking for the parts that fit and ignored the parts that didn't. You Google a headache, and within minutes you're certain it's something terrible, because you clicked the scary results and skipped the boring ones. You meet someone new, form a snap impression in 3 seconds, and then spend the whole conversation collecting proof you were right about them. First impressions stick not because they're accurate, but because you defend them. In every case, your mind started with a conclusion and went shopping for evidence, and it always finds something on the shelf. Confirmation bias is quietly brutal in relationships. The second you suspect a partner is selfish, distant, or dishonest, You become a detective building a case. Every ambiguous text, every late reply, every neutral silence gets read as more proof of the thing you already fear. The moments that contradict your theory, the kindness, the effort, the ordinary love, barely register because they don't fit the story. You're not lying. You genuinely see the pattern. But you built the pattern by only counting the hits and forgiving the misses. This is how suspicion becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. You treat someone like the villain you expect, they react to being treated that way, and you nod, satisfied, because the evidence keeps rolling in. The belief didn't just predict the outcome. It quietly manufactured it, and then took credit for being right all along. Scale this up, and you get polarization. When two groups each see only the evidence that flatters their side, they don't just disagree, they drift into separate realities. Each side experiences its own certainty as obvious common sense, and the other side's as willful stupidity or malice. Every new event gets absorbed into the story you already hold. The same headline proves opposite things to opposite people. Over time, your beliefs stop being conclusions you reached and become a team you belong to, and abandoning them would mean betraying your tribe. That's why arguments online never end in agreement. Nobody's actually weighing evidence. Everyone's just mining the day's news for ammunition, and the wall between them grows one confirmed belief at a time. Here's the cruelest twist. You'd think showing someone hard facts that contradict their belief would fix them. Often it does the opposite. When people are confronted with strong evidence against a cherished belief, they frequently dig in harder, generating counterarguments until they walk away even more convinced than before. The challenge feels like a threat, so the mind mounts a defense, and defending a belief strengthens it. This is why winning an argument almost never changes anyone. The more forcefully you push, the more furiously they reinforce the wall. Your facts don't land as information, they land as an attack, and an attacked brain doesn't update, it fortifies. Understanding this is the difference between someone who thinks they persuade and someone who actually can. So how do you fight a bias that hides inside the feeling of being right? You do the one thing your brain refuses to. You go looking for evidence that you're wrong. Before you lock in a conclusion, ask the question that changes everything. What would prove me wrong? And then genuinely go find it. Read the smartest person who disagrees with you, not the dumbest. Steelman the other side. Build their argument so well they'd thank you for it. Then see if yours still stands. Notice when a claim feels satisfying, because satisfaction is exactly when your guard is down. Being right can't be your goal anymore. Getting it right has to be, and that means learning to be the prosecutor of your own beliefs. Confirmation bias will never announce itself, because it disguises itself as clarity, as common sense, as simply seeing the obvious. It hands you a world that agrees with you and lets you mistake that comfort for truth. The way out isn't to trust your certainty more, it's to distrust it exactly when it feels strongest. Ask what would change your mind. Chase the evidence that stings. Give the people who disagree with you a fair hearing instead of a quick dismissal. You'll be wrong less often, and you'll actually see more of the world, not just the flattering reflection your mind was so desperate to show you. The truth was never hiding. You just kept looking away from it.